Hello students, today once again I am in front of you with a new unit, vector analysis. In first unit you have been taught what is a physical quantity. Anything which can be measured is called physical quantity. There I also taught you what is the magnitude of a quantity. Magnitude of the quantity means the amount of quantity. The two important components of the magnitude are numerical value and unit. It looks some troublesome. What is that magnitude? All of you in our daily life talk about the magnitude of quantities only. For example, when you say your friend that I will see you after 5 hours, I will meet you after 5 hours, that 5 hours is the magnitude of time. And it is having two important components, numerical value, that is 5, and unit, or in which time has been measured. Now, another classification of quantities you have been taught in class 9th, scalar and vector quantities. Scalar quantities are those quantities which can completely be described by its magnitude. Direction is not required. Direction is not the part of such physical quantities. For example, mass, length, speed, time, all these are scalar quantities. Their magnitude completely describes the quantity. On the other hand, there are some quantities which require magnitude as well as direction for their complete description. For example, velocity, force, displacement, all these are vector quantities. If we talk about the equations of motion which you have been taught in previous class, you are writing like this: V equals to U plus AT, S equals to UT plus half AT square, V square equals to U square plus 2AS. These equations were involving few scalar quantities as well as few vector quantities. The vector quantities involved were initial velocity, final velocity, acceleration, and the scalar quantities involved were distance and time. Scalar quantities can be added or subtracted by simple arithmetics. But vector quantities cannot be simply added or subtracted by arithmetic. Then the question arises that these equations were having vector quantities involved and they were treated like scalars when we were applying the mathematical operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Vector quantities have a separate algebra. The addition of vectors, the subtraction of vectors, the multiplication of vectors, they are completely different than the mathematical operations to be applied on scalar quantities. So, why we were in a position to solve these vector quantities by simple arithmetics? And the answer is, before I tell you the answer, two questions taught you in previous classes I will like to discuss. There was a question, under what condition the displacement is equal to the distance? And the answer was, when the body moves along a straight line path. Another question was, under what condition the velocity will be equal to the speed? Two answers were there. Either the body is not moving at all, both are zero, or the body is moving along a straight line path. Then the average velocity and speed will be equal. Since in those classes we treated one dimensional motion only, that motion was along a straight line path, therefore the velocity, the magnitude of velocity was equal to the magnitude of speed. The magnitude of displacement was equal to the magnitude of distance. Therefore, we were applying the simple mathematics, arithmetic, for solving these quantities. But now onwards, you will have to learn the mathematical operations to be implied on vector quantities. Before I talk about the mathematical operations or mathematical algebra of vectors, which is known as vector algebra, we need to understand how a vector quantity is represented, what are different kinds of vector. So, first I will tell you position vector. First thing is representation of a vector. How we will represent a vector quantity? And the answer is very simple. We will represent a vector quantity by an arrow. A vector quantity is represented by arrow. This arrow has two characteristics. Magnitude of quantity is represented by length of the arrow. First thing. Second thing, direction of quantity is denoted by arrow head. Means the length of this arrow will indicate the magnitude of the vector quantity, and the head of arrow will indicate the direction of that quantity. Suppose you have to represent force of 25 Newton in east direction. Now, let 1 centimeter represents 5 Newton, and the sense of direction, as you know, north, south, east, west. So you will draw 5 centimeter long line, because 1 centimeter is representing 5 Newton, so 5 centimeter will represent 25 centimeter. 5 centimeter long line along east, and this arrow is representing force. Now, there are two ways to write the vector quantities. Either we write this vector quantity, force is a vector quantity, so either we will write this F by bold letter, which is practically not possible. It is possible for printed material. So, in order to show that this force is a vector quantity, we put arrow over it. Now it is representing that force is a vector quantity, and this has been represented by this. Now the same question, suppose I say that in the north direction, force is 25 Newton in the north direction. What I will do, I will draw a 5 centimeter long line with the scale 1 centimeter equal to 5 Newton along north, and arrow will be directed towards north. Thus, a vector quantity is represented by an arrow. Length of arrow is giving us the magnitude of the physical quantity, and arrowhead is indicating the direction of vector quantity. Now, different kinds of vector which you require, which have been included in your syllabus, we will discuss one by one. First is types of vectors. First, I will talk about position vector. Now, suppose in a Cartesian coordinate system, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is origin. The object, the body is here. The initial position of the body is this, P. So, a vector which is telling us the distance of object and direction of object from the origin is called position vector. What we will do, we will join this point with the origin. So this segment, line segment, the length of line segment will give us the distance, and we will put arrow over this. And this vector, position R, small letter R is the position vector of this object. Now, suppose this is R1. After time t, the position of the body changes. Suppose it reaches to a point Q. The object has been moved to this point. Then, certainly, the distance has been changed, the direction has been changed. So, position vector will change. This is R2. This is. So, I hope the concept of position vector will be clear to you. Position vector is giving us the distance of the object from the origin and also telling us the direction of the object from the origin. Now we will define another vector that is called displacement vector. Displacement vector. In the same condition, you see, the body has been displaced from P to Q. Displacement vector gives us the distance of new position, or you can say final position, with respect to initial position and direction also. So, if you draw this is the position vector. Oh, sorry, displacement vector, PQ. So, displacement vector is PQ. Here, R1, vector OP is the position vector, that is R1. Here, OQ is the position vector, R2. Now, position vector PQ. This is equal to position vector of Q minus position vector of P. That is, position vector of Q means OQ minus OP. This is R2 minus R1. So this will give us the displacement vector, how much it has been displaced from the initial position and in which direction also. Next vector which I will discuss, equal vectors. Two vectors are said to be equal if they have same magnitude and same direction. For example, if I consider this is vector A and another vector B, if they are such that their line segment, length of line segment is same and direction is same, then only vector A equals to vector B. Two vectors are said to be equal vectors if they have same magnitude and same direction. If directions are same, magnitudes are not same, then they are not equal vectors. If magnitudes are different, directions are same, then they are not equal vectors. If magnitudes are different, directions are same, then they are not equal vectors. If both are different, magnitude as well direction, then they are not equal vectors. So essential condition is their magnitudes will be same and their direction will be same, then only they are equal. Now we are in a position to define another vector which is called zero vector. Now, if you add two scalar quantities, you get the scalar quantities. If you subtract two vector quantities, if you subtract two scalar quantities, you get scalar quantities. In the same way, when you add two vector quantities, you will get a vector quantity. When you subtract two vector quantities, you will get a vector quantity. But there is very interesting case. For example, you are subtracting 5 hours from 5 hours, you are getting 0. When you are subtracting a force of 25 Newton in east direction from a force from 25 Newton in the east direction, means both the magnitudes are same, directions are same, then you will again get 0. But 0 is a scalar. And difference of two scalar vector quantities can't be a scalar. This is the reason zero vector has been defined. Now, as I told you, two vectors A, if there are two vectors which are equal, means their magnitudes are same, their directions are same, then their difference A minus B, absolutely it will be 0. Its magnitude will be 0. But 0 is a scalar quantity, so it cannot be a scalar quantity. So this is the concept of zero vector. We will define zero vector. Zero vector is a vector whose magnitude is 0 and it has no specific direction, but it has direction. No specific direction. Direction is not specific, but direction is there. Zero vector is also known as null vector. Once again I will repeat, zero vector is a vector which has zero magnitude having no specific direction. Next, opposite vectors. Opposite vectors. If two vectors are such that their magnitudes are same but directions are opposite, means anti-parallel, then the two vectors are called opposite vectors. For example, see, this is a vector A and of same length but opposite direction is vector B, then vector A equals to minus vector B. Means minus sign in vector quantity represents opposite direction. A and B are equal, means their magnitudes are equal, but minus sign, it is representing opposite direction. B is having opposite direction to A. So vector A equals to minus vector B. Or, very important, vector A, you will transfer this side, vector B equals to 0. Next, unit vector. A vector whose magnitude is unity, that is 1, is called unit vector. As I told you, vector has two components, magnitude and direction. Unit vector of vector A, suppose this is a vector A, then its magnitude, if I am writing simply A, it means it is the magnitude of vector A, means we have ignored the direction, we are talking about magnitude. Magnitude of vector A is represented by A. So if this is vector A, then unit vector A, to represent unit vector we use this sign which is called as cap. A cap equals to vector A upon magnitude of vector A. This is mod of vector A means magnitude of vector A. This is equal to vector A upon A. Now, very interesting thing you will get, vector A equals to A into A cap. As I told you, vector has two important components. One, magnitude, A is the component which is representing magnitude of vector A, and A cap is representing direction. A cap is the direction along vector A, means A cap is the direction of vector A. Now, I will discuss about orthogonal vectors. Orthogonal vectors. First we should know the meaning of orthogonal. Orthogonal unit vectors. We had talked about unit vectors. Unit vectors are the vectors which are having magnitude unity or 1. Now, what are orthogonal unit vectors? Orthogonal means perpendicular to each other. If unit vectors are such that they are perpendicular to each other, then those unit vectors are called as orthogonal unit vectors. As I told you, unit vectors, the physical significance of unit vector is to provide the sense of direction. It indicates the direction of a vector, or unit vector is in the direction of a vector quantity. Now, if we talk about orthogonal coordinate system x, y, z. So these three axes are perpendicular to each other. A unit vector which is having magnitude 1 and is in the direction of x-axis is called I cap. A unit vector which is in the direction of y-axis is called j cap. If I have to write, if I am writing this 5 I cap Newton, it means the magnitude of force is 5 Newton along x-axis. In the same way, the unit vector along z-axis is k cap. Since the three axes are perpendicular to each other, therefore these unit vectors are also perpendicular to each other, and therefore they are known as orthogonal unit vectors. Once again, unit vectors have magnitude 1 and gives the sense of direction. So today I will conclude with this. So you need to learn about the vector quantities, find the differences between scalar and vector quantities, how to represent a vector quantities, and then different types of vectors taught. Go through these definitions, try to understand them. See you in the next module with more interesting topics of vectors. Till then, stay safe, stay home. Thank you.